host world leaders for the G8 and G20 summits. Playing host comes with certain responsibilities and diplomatic pressures as well. Here to discuss all of this is Pierre Pettigrew, former Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade. He also currently is the Executive Advisor International at Deloitte. Pierre Pettigrew is with us now. So typically, what kind of a role does a host country play for these kind of international shindigs? I mean, obviously, you want to make everyone feel welcome and happy. You want to be a facilitator. What else?
Well, it is a significant role because, as you know, the G20 does not have a secretariat, does not have staff. It is not an organization that has developed institutional capabilities. So the host has to actually do quite a lot of coordinating work. And indeed, it is always a balancing act. Because as a country, we have certain interests to promote.
Right. And
at the same time, the country wants the meeting to be a success. Now, it suits Canada well normally. Normally, Canada is a sort of good, honest broker.
Right.
And we see the promotion of our interests by sort of promoting the middle of the road.
So it's interesting, having said all of that, that we've seen even in the past week, the Harper government cabinet ministers fanning out around the globe, making a very clear case against this bank tax. And not just going on public record as saying this, but actually going out there and making that message pretty clear. How surprised are you to see that?
Well, I am not surprised because this is a government that on a number of issues has decided to take very extreme approach. We've seen it in Copenhagen. The honest broker of Canada was not in Copenhagen. We were one of the extreme, we had one of the extreme positions at Copenhagen. The Prime Minister raised the whole gender abortion issue. As the host, it was a very strange thing to do. We've seen the United States, Mrs. Clinton, many European countries, and now we see on the bank, without looking into the merit on the bank front, it is difficult to be both the traditional honest broker host that wants a successful meeting with good results and be one of the players that take the extreme positions.
So do you think it could backfire? Do you think that to some extent the fact that Canada has carved out these positions, particularly on the bank tax, that it can become a distraction or somehow dilute Canada's ability to influence outcomes and get everyone to come to some sort of agreement?
Absolutely, because if you hold one of the positions very strongly, as I say, it's not a traditional Canadian position. I mean, I have participated in a number of those meetings where Canada is trying to reconcile Europeans and Americans, where we go between and try to speak to the French president and the American president and this and that. And now you have a Canadian Prime Minister who not only is not having a sort of position intermediary to these, but who himself has one of the strong positions.
Is there anything wrong, though, in trying to shape certain outcomes? I mean, might there be, under these circumstances, real merit in carving out a position and making it very clear and indicating to perhaps all participants that this is where we're coming from and we welcome the discussion once everyone's in the same room?
No, I mean, the government has to promote its interest, has to promote the interest and the way it sees it, but at the same time, it wants a success. So it has put itself in a very awkward position as the host. As I say, it used to fit Canada's honest broker role very well to be a host, and we were very good because we were always promoting Canada's interest by promoting sort of middle-of-the-road approach. But we're no longer a sort of middle-of-the-road country with this present government, and that will be its challenge. Will it want the G20 to be a success, or will it want its agenda, which does not seem for the time being to be reflected by the membership of the G20.
When you talk about success, what would constitute a successful outcome? I think a lot of people see these G8 meetings as high-blown, expensive, logistically elaborate scenarios where people get together, there are photo opportunities, etc., but they question the value. So what is a successful outcome for something like this?
On the G20, on the G8, I think it's something which is quite passive. We'll talk securities, we'll take non-economic issues. The real the real meeting is the G20 meeting when we talk economy. What would be a success is if we can coordinate our activities to make sure that we really get out of the recession, that we don't fall again into slower times, and that we can have better governance in world finance, for instance.
We'll definitely stay tuned. Pierre Pettigrew, good to see you. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much, Nancy.